seeking the truth isn't necessarily the best place to start. In fact, I think our reverence for the truth might have become a bit of a distraction.
What does that mean? Is it scientific or not? Is it factual or not? Is it the truth or not?
I know that the truth exists for each of you in this room. It also probably exists for the person sitting next to you. But the thing is, the two of you don't necessarily have the same truth.
That's what we refer to commonly as bull. Renegade Online. So this is the former head of the Wikimedia Foundation and current CEO of NPR, as in National Public Radio. Catherine Maurer. The Wikipedians who write these articles aren't focused on finding the truth. For most of our tricky disagreements, seeking the truth is not the best place to start.
But one of the most significant differences, critical for moving from polarization to productivity, is that the Wikipedians who write these articles aren't actually focused on finding the truth.
Oh.
They're working for something that's a little bit more attainable.
Wait. Why is the truth not attainable? And isn't Wikipedia supposed to be, allegedly, aren't they supposed to be in the business of fact, not truth? Y'all remember the line from Raiders of the Lost Ark when you first meet Indiana Jones in the classroom after the big opening scene and the big rock chasing him? And he says, archaeology is the search for fact, not truth. If it's truth you're looking for, Professor so-and-so's philosophy class is right down the hall. This is Wikipedia, right? And I know we can all make jokes about Wikipedia, but understand what the general perception by normies is out there is that when you go look stuff up on Wikipedia, it's supposed to be based in fact. But this person is going to tell us that that's a problem.
Best of what we can know right now. Those who write these articles aren't actually focused on finding the truth. They're working for something that's a little bit more attainable, which is the best of what we can know right now. And after 7 years there, I actually believe that they're onto something.
The best of what we can know right now. Huh.
That for our most tricky disagreements, seeking the truth and seeking to convince others of the truth isn't necessarily the best place to start. In fact, I think our reverence for the truth might have become a bit of a distraction that is.
Really? Ladies and gentlemen, what you're hearing right now, and I know this is nothing that's, I think, terribly new. It just happened to re-pop up on the feed, and I'm like, yeah, this is worthy of discussion again. This is the attitude of the left. This is the attitude of the modern media out there. The truth, facts, can kind of get in the way. Can kind of get in the way of things sometimes.
It's preventing us from finding consensus and getting important things done.
Stop. I hate that word. I hate the word consensus. I can't frickin' stand it. Let me play that again. I want you to listen to the part where she starts seeking the truth is problematic.
They're onto something. That for our most tricky disagreements, seeking the truth and seeking to convince others of the truth isn't necessarily the best place to start. In fact, I think our reverence for the truth might have become a bit of a distraction that is preventing us from finding consensus and getting important things done. Now, none of that's to say that the truth isn't important. The truth obviously exists. It's at the core, or the search for the truth is at the core of some of our greatest human achievements. It can animate and inspire us to do, learn, and create great.
Or just lie our asses off. It gets in the way of creating consensus to get things done. I can't stand, especially when the left uses the word consensus. Let me explain what consensus means. Consensus, especially to the left, is what happens when the people on the right side of things cave. right? There are facts, and then there's fiction. The great Milton Friedman, one of the most brilliant minds, one of the most brilliant men to ever live, once posed a question nearly 40 years ago now. And he's still regarded to this day as one of the most brilliant economists to have ever walked the face of the earth. And Milton Friedman once said, how do you compromise between food and poison? How do you compromise with the facts or the truth? Not your truth, not my truth, not his truth or her truth or their truth if you're non-binary, or Imani Khalif, which we'll talk about in a minute. How do you compromise? Because this idea of climate change, remember global warming and now it's climate change? Do you remember when that started for 20 years? They would always tell us that, well, it's a consensus that this is what's going on, that we human beings are causing this. It's a consensus. Well, wait a minute. What does that mean? Is it scientific or not? Is it factual or not? Is it the truth or not? I hate this crap. And this is a constant tool of the left. When you hear this, it means that they are trying to inject the food into your poison. They're trying to get you to compromise between food and poison.
But I think in our messy human hearts, we also know that the truth is something of a fickle mistress, and that the beauty of the truth is actually often in the struggle.
What does that even mean?
It's the reason that we have so many sublime chronicles of the human experience, because there are so many different truths to be explored. And so in this spirit, I know that the truth exists for each of you in this room. It also probably exists for the person sitting next to you. But the thing is, the two of you don't necessarily have the same truths. And
right. That's what we refer to commonly as bullshit. There are facts. There is evidence. There is logic. There are things that are provable. And then there is your truth, which is another way of saying bullshit. But this is the person, again, I want to remind folks, who was the current CEO of National Public Radio. And you wonder why National Public Radio is such a cesspool of leftist thinking that it is. Because of this. I mean, to her truth is probably that Donald Trump is a Russian asset, right? That's her truth, I'm sure. That's that's their truth of a lot of people on her side of the aisle, which is, again, as we would more commonly refer to as bullshit. There's no evidence of it, but I'm sure that's her truth. That was NPR's truth for years. So just to give you an idea, this is where we need to look to in 2025. This is the part of the media that needs to be torn apart. And I mean this from a commercial standpoint. I'm not talking about violently or anything illegally or even in Minecraft. I mean commercially, business-wise. They need to be laid waste. There needs to be no commercial viability for media outlets that straight up lie to the American people. And I'm not talking about op-eds. I'm not talking about shows where you have these opinion shows. Like, look, even on Fox News, Greg Gutfeld, right? Greg Gutfeld he's doing his opinion pieces. He is not a hardcore journalist. The problem I have is where you have places like NPR, which this chick runs. NPR is supposed to be completely unbiased. They are literally just supposed to be a news reporting organization. This happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. The problem is when they actually try to wrap news in a bunch of opinions, and in their case, in other words, lies, this is where the American public have gotten very soured. This is where things have gone very much downhill for them. Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.